and don't understand what these gentlemen talked about, the significance of the game for the state of Texas and San Antonio, it's hard to describe. But the one thing I remember is just the going back to never quitting, never stopping, never giving up. There's always another play.
The memories of that game were many-fold, and that's a lot of people that have been here today and have mentioned some of the things that have gone on and how long all of us had played together. And the main thing is, what does this game mean to us, or what did it mean to us? Well, we were all young, and every one of us in here were 17 and 18 years old, and your outlook on life is a little different than when you get into your 50s. So, but how many things can you go back when you were 17 or 18 years old and remember the amount of impact it's had on your life? And others from outside can say, well, why is it important? What is the importance of this game? Well, the importance of this game is, I think, very succinctly said, that it brought two parts of a city, an old city. San Antonio has been here for, one of the fact that I think is the second oldest city in the state of Texas. And it brought two parts of this city together. And after the game, we were as one. And it was mentioned that we held hands in the middle of the field and had a prayer. And I think that set the stage for San Antonio in many ways thereafter that. A lot of us guys grew up since elementary school together. We had a camaraderie, we had a spirited corps that continued all the way through high school. And I've got to say it now, that if we could have gotten past Miller, we would have gone all the way to state. We did have one of the best teams, and I think Coach Drew can probably concur with this, that we probably had one of the best teams, a team of any team in the state of Texas at that time.
Well, I was coaching at Edison at that time, and we were in the same district as Robert E. Lee. We were not in the same district as Brackenridge at that time. So we went to we got very good seats. We got to sit in the press box where the scouts sat. So we had a very good view of what was going on. It was the best high school football game, obviously, that I ever saw.
Were you surprised that Dallas Morning you called it the greatest game ever?
Well, I knew that both of them had good football teams. I really felt like Lee had a lot more talent overall as a team than Brackenridge did. But of course, Brackenridge equaled that out with one great athlete, Warren McVea. I can remember that it was somewhat of a surprise, I think, to Lee when McVea started and played at quarterback. And I remember that when Lee kicked off to Brackenridge after they had scored, that McVea would get up close for an onside kick. And when Lee would go back into a regular kickoff formation, then McVea would go back. So wherever they tried to kick the ball, McVea was going to get it. If they kicked it to somebody else, they would turn and pitch it to McVea. So it was just a matter of who had the football last.
I was a young guy. I was, I guess, 24 years old at the time. 23, 24. It was 63, 64. I don't remember what year specifically, but one of the things that impressed me about that game, that there was only one kickoff that was not an onside kick. And it was run back for a touchdown. Linus Baer ran that all the way back for a touchdown. Another thing that sticks in my mind on that game was Warren McVea was the first, and I think the only time he ever played quarterback at Brackenridge. I think he was, Coach said, every time Warren touches the ball, it's a potential touchdown, and when he's quarterback, he touches it every time. So it's a couple of things that stick in my mind.
So no doubt you've talked about that game over the years.
Oh, many times, and it's without a doubt the greatest game I ever saw. And I know they call it the greatest football game in Texas high school, and I believe it.
Well, we had played Lee earlier in the year, and Linus Baer had an exceptional game against us. We had never played Brackenridge, so we were quite taken. I was with quarterback from my high school, Bill Burke, and I went to the game.
What was your impression most about the game? Speed or what?
Well, there was a lot of speed. It was like a lot of people said, you never knew when the scoring was going to stop. As it turned out, it stopped when the game was over.
Now that it's 39 years ago, called the greatest game of the 20th century by the Dallas Morning News, does that surprise you?
Oh, I'm not sure we were thinking about it that way at the time, but I do remember, if it was the last play of the game near Warren McVea going back and forth across the field, finally getting stopped. Desperation play.
Had you ever seen anybody as fast as McVea?
I hadn't seen anybody or played against anyone as fast. Like I said, we played Linus Baer earlier in the year, but I never played against a Baer in high school or college.
How tough was it to stop Baer?
Baer was an exceptional athlete. He's a four-year letterman at Lee. So he started off and he had quite a bit of experience. They beat us rather soundly that year at Jefferson, and the following year we beat them.
Was the crowd just exhausted after the game from watching it?
I believe so, and it was a rather large crowd, over $20,000. The bowl, the Alamo Stadium was filled up. It was quite a scene there.
Will you ever see another high school game like that, do you think?
I don't think so.
Describe it in a few words, what your reaction was.
Well, it was, back then, it was quite an awesome event to go to, exciting. The skills of the two players were really unbelievable, and of course McVea was playing at quarterback, which was a different change, so it was a different look than we really had expected to see. Took the ball and just started going one direction or another, just wildly.
Lee won the toss, is apted to receive. This is 3rd and 4. Linus from Kemp, counter left, outside, inside, and he goes to the 35, down to the 30, the 25. He will go 48 yards on the way to the 19-yard line in Eagle territory. 3rd and go. Kemp gives it to Linus. He sweeps left. He thumbs into the end zone. Knipper recovers, though, and it's still a touchdown. And the PAT is about the kick by Linus. It's up, and he hits it at 7-0. Volunteers.
Baer attempts an onside kick. Brackenridge fumbles and Lee recovers on the Brackenridge 47. I believe that was Briggs that recovered the ball.
1st and 10. Baer, motion left. Kemp passes to Baer as he gets loose in the secondary, and he gets it down to the 31-yard line. A gain of 16 in Eagle territory. 4th and 1, key play for the Volunteers. Townsend, the big fullback, straight up the middle.
Linus Baer crashing over the right side for a touchdown.
So the kick was good, and that means it's time for Linus Baer to kick onside one more time to keep it away from McVea. They almost recover it one more time, but the Eagles get it at their own 44-yard line. McVea at the 46. Keeps it. Dances outside. Nobody can catch him. And Warren turns on the jets, and he speeds down the sideline, and he goes 54 yards for another Eagle touchdown.
Here's the extra point. Look out. There's a drop snap. That's going to be no good on the extra point. Brackenridge kicks off onside once again. Lee recovers the ball at their own 49-yard line. Baer in motion to the left. Kemp sprints left and completes a pass to Baer for a 26-yard gain to Brackenridge's 25-yard line.
Now they call him the big fullback, Townsend. Up the middle again, and he gains 11 yards to the Brack 14, and that ends the first quarter, and it's 14-6 Volunteers. No matter where you go in San Antonio, who you talk with, fans who were there or watched it on TV, remember the game. This is the San Antonio Quarterback Club weekly meeting. The club is more than 50 years old, and today they are hearing from Rice coach Fred Hatfield. Several of these men, many of them coaches or former mentors, recall the game and how it left a lasting impression.
It's kind of the Mona Lisa here of Texas high school football. It's just the game by which other games are measured by. Just had everything but a chariot race. I had everything. It's just, as you and I were discussing earlier, through the years, it takes on a different meaning. And when you look back 39 years later, I know that just last week we were observing the 39th anniversary of President Kennedy's assassination, and I've talked to people, and I think one of the reasons that game was so big, Gary, was also, I think that it was a catharsis for this city after it came out of its mourning that following Tuesday after the burial of President Kennedy. The game held exactly a week after November 22nd at Alamo Stadium, and I think that people really wanted something to cheer about and feel good about after a terrible, terrible weekend. You know, President Kennedy had been here, as you well know, on Thursday, the day before he was assassinated, and I think that San Antonio took it real hard, and they kind of embraced this game, and lo and behold, it lived up to its billing. A great ball game.
The thing that impressed me about both ball games was the team speed. We know that Warren and, of course, his speed, it's legendary, but his team speed. You got to remember, they were coming off the defending state high school champs, and so they had speed to burn. But Linus, speed, lots of speed.
Who are you sitting with?
Well, let me see. I think I was sitting with coaches' wives and the other coaches at MacArthur, Coach Bobby Jack Price, Coach Joe Bill Fox. We were all there. We were, of course, rooting for our sister school in Northeast, Robert E. Lee, a little bit. But it was such a great game and such a great setting there in Alamo Stadium. Not many high school stadiums can match that. That's for sure.
Baer, right side, it's 1st and 10. And he goes in for the touchdown, and it's 20-6. And the extra point is missed. And there are still 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Another onside kick by Kemp this time, and it's going to be recovered at midfield. And Troy Boone, left side, he gains 12 yards into the secondary, down to the Lee 38-yard line.
Here's McVea. Keeps it around the right end. He's going to ramble for 15 yards. It's going to be a touchdown. We've had trouble with the extra point so far this evening. Another bobbled snap, and the point is going to be no good. That makes the score Lee 20, Brackenridge 12. Brackenridge once again onside kick. The Lee Volunteers recover at their own 37-yard line.
And this is going to be a wing-back reverse, and it's again a 14 yards to the Brack 12-yard line from the 26. Kemp keeps left. He goes 12 yards. Nobody gets him, and he's in for the score. It's 27-12. Another onside kick. But this time it's going to go out of bounds, and that means it's going to be the Eagles taking over at the Volunteer 47. McVea keeps to the right. Cuts outside. Jukes. And he goes 34 yards all the way down to the Lee 7-yard line before he stopped in the secondary. And now this is going to be Elmo Washington. And Elmo goes in for the touchdown. This time, Warren McVea kicks it through, and it is now Lee 27, Brackenridge 19. Brack again decides to make a big mistake. They kick to Pat Sheehan, and he cuts outside, inside, and he goes for a great gain. Kemp the man under, Linus in the flat. Kemp finds him. Linus goes to the outside, cuts back inside, gets to the 30, down to the 25. Nobody's going to get him. Linus goes in for the score. 46 yards of touchdown, and it's PAT time. And the kick is through and true, and now it's Lee 34-19. One more time. Kemp is going to kick onside. Recovered by the Eagles at the Brack 42-yard line.
Well, I lived here in San Antonio and had been following both Linus Baer and McVea's careers, so it was a game I just had to see. stood in the line out at Lee in the cold to get tickets. And, that was about the day after the kid assassination.